homes and businesses crumbling into the sea, roads disappearing and huge chunks of land falling away. The reality of erosion on the East Yorkshire coast. Now, for the first time ever, sonar technology is providing coastal engineers with information that they've never had before to try and improve our sea defences. In the UK, it's estimated that 200 homes are at risk of being lost to the sea in the next 20 years. It's possible that 2,000 more could also be affected during this same period. The Holderness coast has one of the highest rates of coastal erosion in Europe, losing 2 metres every year. Well, our environment correspondent, Caroline Bilton, is in Skipsea for us right now. Just how big an issue is this, Caroline?
Well, Peter, when I tell you that these are the remains of a house that went over the cliff not so long ago, the owner of this house has now moved, but he's moved one along. He's now living in this home here, and in the 17 years he's been here, he's seen 3 homes fall off the edge of this cliff. About 150 foot of land has gone. And you know, they're left with a feeling of abandonment, a feeling of helplessness in a way. But work is going on, and for those who are attempting to try and protect this coastline, because of new technology, they are now more clued up than ever.
It's one of the country's most beautiful coastlines, but protecting it is a challenge like no other. It's us against nature.
Well, the guy there said they'd lost 20 metres. Looks fairly similar to last time I was here.
Neil McLaughlin is a coastal engineer whose job it is to map the cliff edge every 6 months. It's been monitored on foot since 1951, but today, instead of tape measures, GPS technology is used.
Once the information's downloaded onto the computer, you can see exactly where the cliff edge is, and I can compare it with previous surveys we've done and get a very good idea of where the cliff erosion has occurred and how much has gone.
This technology is good, but it only tells them so much. Now, for the first time ever, their research is going 2 kilometres out to sea, beneath the waves and onto the seabed.
We're effectively gathering around about 14,000 soundings a second.
By using sound pulses, this research team are measuring the depth of the seabed from Flamborough to Spurn Point, examining its terrains and contours, and seeing parts of East Yorkshire that have never been seen before.
So we're looking at the data. We've got some areas of a very flat seabed. As we move east towards South Landing, we begin to see lots of rock ledges appearing in the data. And as we move further offshore, which was a little bit unexpected, although there is a shoal on the chart, we have some fairly significant sand wave features, which are up to about 3 metres in height.
It's literally groundbreaking. It's something that's not been done before, and it will give us a far better understanding. At the moment, we don't know where the material that is on our beaches goes to exactly. It comes offshore, it goes down, but we don't know exactly how that process occurs, how that mechanism happens. So this information that we'll gather now will give us far more detail, far more information as to how that process works.
But this monitoring of our coastline isn't just going on here at sea, it's also going on up there.
Over the next couple of days, a special aircraft will also be taking pictures of our coastline using laser technology. These were the images they took in October of last year. But, like monitoring on foot, it's restricted. It can only show the level of erosion and not what's causing it. But by using all 3 forms of technology, from land, air and sea, it'll mean when it comes to protecting our coastline, more informed decisions can be made.
Some fascinating technology there. Caroline, what happens with these findings now then? How can they use them?
Well, I can tell you they certainly won't have been up in the air today, Peter. And what happens next? They collate all that, and they can basically start to look at where they need to put defences. It's crucial, though, on government funding. That sea survey has only happened because of funding from DEFRA. And in order for this to really make sense, they're going to have to do this survey year on year on year. And really, as I say, it is dependent on government funding that happens. Of course, those living here in Aldborough, they've just got to keep their fingers crossed that, well, enough is done in time to save their homes.
Indeed. Caroline, thank you very much indeed. In a moment on tonight's programme, teeing off in the battle for votes.